Wonderful. You all look beautiful on YouTube right now. Wonderful. You all look beautiful on YouTube right now. I don't like that. Hearing myself in double time. ¿Qué hago? Wonderful. We mute it. This is a learning curve, family. We're doing a lot, but I'm focusing here on the Zoom, and we have the IG live going on over here to the left of me, but I'm not really looking over there right now. Welcome, everyone. Give some people a few minutes to log in. You all look amazing. You all look ready. You all look rested, or as rested as we can be, right?
Hello?
Hello, Abby and Lane on call.
Hi, Abby and Lane. I literally just started a Zoom.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
This is 2020 living, everybody. That's how we get down. We're in each other's business. We're in each other's homes. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Writing from the Womb intro session. And I'm coming off of attending the Dominican Writers Association's writer salon this morning that was facilitated by Marlene. And I loved that. I can't play music because that would be doing too fucking much right now with all this technology. So maybe I'll sing you a little ditty at some point today. However, she really set the tone for opening up this space. And so for those of you who are new to me, I am Alicia Anabel Santos. I am the writing midwife, also La Santera. I am a writer, an educator, a mother, a lover, a priestess, a sister, a friend. And in this process with you, I am your midwife, which is an honor for me. I have been, I'm the founder of the New York City Latina Writers Group. It was established in October of 2006. We'll be celebrating, how many years is that? Someone do the math? I'm a writer, not a mathematician.
14.
Thank you. 14 years this October. 14 years. And through my doors, like literally, I have helped to give birth to countless stories, poems, plays, films. It has been an honor. Hundreds of writers have walked through my doors. They've written in my home. I have facilitated workshops all over New York that have been incredibly attended. We have over 800 members in the New York City Latino Writers Group, many of whom are part of the Dominican Writers Association today. And it really is spirit work that I've been called to do. You know, how I come to this work is that in 2006, I attended a writer's workshop, a panel discussion in Bryant Park. And it was a panel of Latino authors who were talking about writing. And there was this one Latina who was speaking, and she said, I don't want to be seen as, I don't want to be seen as a Latina writer. I want to be seen as a writer. And I felt so offended. I got real angry after that panel, because what I heard was, I don't want to be seen as a Latina writer. I want to be seen as a white writer. Like this idea of writer, like who are you saying when you're saying writer? Like, are you saying you want to be accepted in a canon that has never seen us, welcomed us, included us? That's what I heard. So I was really angry, and I remember expressing that to a sister friend, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I wish there was a space for me to come and be at who I am and bring my stories where I don't feel like I have to sugarcoat it, translate it, explain myself. And she said, well, if it doesn't exist, then build it. And the very next day, I launched the New York City Latina Writers Group. And that it was in October of 2006. October 15th was the first meeting of the New York City Latina Writers Group. 6 women showed up to my Harlem apartment, women that did not know each other, complete strangers. From there, it grew to 30 women the first month. In the first 6 months, we had over 100 writers. And so from there, it has just been amazing. And part of this, creating a space where we could come in and tell our stories and write and feel safe and heard, came, okay, so how do we break into publishing? How do we get seen? How do we get taken seriously? How do we find an agent? How do we find an editor? And I had what Angie is doing with the Dominican writers is absolutely what I was doing back then, was trying to get writers ready. But what I learned in the process is that wasn't my job. What Angie's doing, this is what Angie was called to do. I am called to facilitate workshops that help give birth to the story. There's a difference. You know, Angie offers, you know, programming that takes you through all of the stages. I'm honing in on are we writing though? Are we coming to the page? Are we editing? Are we sitting with the story? And so from my years of facilitating workshops, I gave birth to a workshop titled Writing from the Womb. And writing from the womb is writing from the most sacred place. And so what I love about this workshop is that it has grown from my work being solely in honor of women and for women writers, Latinx writers, queer writers, Black writers, to include men and gender nonconforming folks in this space. So it is growing and it is expanding. And writing from the womb is that, you know, this place this sacred place where we can come and write our stories. Now, 2020 has been interesting. 2020 has been a blessing, you know, and a curse, right? Because the curse is that we've lost so much. How do we create in all of this chaos and all of this fear and all the shit that we have going on collectively and personally? And, you know, at the beginning of the year, when Angie decided to host Writing from the Womb and share the platform with me, we originally were in Word Up Bookshop. And she sent me a link and said, try out this wet ink online thing. Maybe you should consider building an online course. Now, she sent it to me and she knows me well. I can't design a flyer. I am not tech savvy. This is not my shit. So I was super scared and intimidated by creating an online anything because I'm more of a in your face kind of person. I like that. And so she challenged me. She's like, check this out, see if you like it, see if it works. And I fell in love. I designed the online course in an hour and a half, in 90 minutes. I just created I had all the content. It was just copying it and pasting it and moving it over in a way that made sense. And I told her I loved it. Now, this is before COVID. We did not know COVID was coming. We just had we created this opportunity for folks to take it online, whether it's from the DR or West Coast or here in New York, and those who could attend. And then a few weeks into classes, we were shut down with the shutdown in quarantine, but we had an online course. And so what went from Priscilla, how many people were in person? Was it like 15?
Like 15 of us, yeah.
It was like 15 of us face-to-face meeting every Sunday. And then the rest.
Wait, with you and Angie, it was 17.
Okay, so 17 in person. And then there were like 6 writers who were writing from home. Lisa, Juvie, a bunch of folks. And so, we all had to go online, all of us. And that was crazy. You know, yesterday I was rereading the feedback from the class. After I finish a session, I asked my writers to write me some feedback so I can improve, so I can bring just better quality material to the course. I was reading everyone's words and I was crying because the theme was that they were so grateful that they had this writing class during this pandemic. that thank God we had this community that we could come together and build and write and create. And thank you, Angie. I will forever be in gratitude for you sending me a link and saying, yo, try this out, because look at where we are. Here we are with how many of us are here? We're 25 of us are in the Zoom, 25 of us are in the IG Live. Here we are creating in the best way we can. And so welcome. That's my intro spiel. I am honored to be here. I'm honored to facilitate this space. And I like to start all of my workshops in the same way. And so let's breathe, right? Let's clear the space. Let's clear the space. Let's get comfortable, however that means for you. I decided that the theme, every writing from the womb, I do something a little differently. I'm not like those professors that like regurgitate the same material, because I like to include what we need in the moment. So it is like I'm reinventing the wheel all the time, because I feel like I need to shift and change to honor the people in the space. And so the theme for this writing from the womb is on being grounded in the story, grounded in the self. That's our theme. Grounded in the story and grounded in the self. And so we are going to get grounded before we write today. And so sit however you're comfortable. You can sit on the floor, you can sit in your chair, you can close your eyes or find a soft gaze, but we're gonna do some breathing just to kind of release some nervous energy, because I know for myself, I'm nervous. It's always a first day of school for me. I'm always excited. I always have butterflies. I always make myself a little nauseous, because I want to make sure that I'm bringing the best of me. And so let's take a deep breath in, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. During this breathing, we're going to be moving into a prompt, right? And so as we get grounded, we're taking a body scan. Like we're really paying attention to what's happening to our body, what's happening to our eyes, where we feel things, what's happening around us, the sounds, what the temperature's like. Are we sweating? Are we hot? Are we cold? Right? We're taking a body scan. So inhale, exhale. Focus in on what you're thinking about right now. Why you showed up today, what you came here to do, why the time is now. Where does imposter syndrome live in your body? Is it in your chest? Is it in your lungs? Is it in your heart, throat chakra? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your gut? Where are you feeling nervous energy right now? Let's bring our attention to that place and let's send it love. That we are in a place where we are equal, that no one is more advanced than anyone in this space. We are all students. We are all teachers. Let's call our attention to our crown chakra. What is it that we want to create today? What do we want to create over the next 9 weeks? How is it that we want to close this 2020 that has challenged us in the most profound ways? What is it that we want to accomplish? Is it a book? Is it the first draft? Is it publishing? Is it writing several essays? Like really think about what it is that we want to create. And now let's go for a walk. Let's take that thing we want to create and let's go for a walk. Now we know our hood very well, right? So let's close our eyes or our soft gaze and let's imagine that we've gotten up from this chair and we've moved, we've made ourselves out of our house and we're making our way to some sort of park, field, forest environment. Let's put ourselves in this vision outside in the earth, getting grounded. A favorite park, maybe it's near the West Side Highway, maybe it's near 174 and Fort Washington. Maybe it's Central Park. Maybe it's by the mountains. Put yourself by some trees, like really move there. Really move there. Be there. You are grounded in the earth. And you are allowing yourself to receive everything that the earth has for you in terms of your creativity and the story and your greatness and your brilliance. Like be grounded in the earth. Receive all of that energy because it takes a lot of energy to write. It takes a lot of energy to create. It takes a lot of energy to manifest and make our dreams happen. Take that all in because we are about to embark on a journey, the journey of our lives. Let's inhale. Let's smile, like that excitement, like, yes, I came here to do this shit. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, come out of meditation and grab your journal and your pen. And your first prompt is, grounding to me means that grounding to me means that and if someone could type it into the chat box, that'd be great. If someone could be the one typing in the prompts, prompt 1, if someone could type it in the chat box on the IG, that'd be amazing also. Grounding to me means that I am and write. Don't censor yourself. Don't erase things. Don't delete things. You're writing from a stream of consciousness. The first things that come to your mind.
Alicia, you are mute.
Of course I am.
Mad passionate though.
What I was saying was that if writing that prompt is hard or challenging in any way, think about what you need in order to be grounded, right? What are some of the things that you need in order to be grounded? Now let's pivot. Being grounded in our story means being grounded in the story, grounded in the poem, grounded in the piece means one more minute. Someone's asking, is more elaboration on being grounded in the story. So being grounded in the story, what does it take to really, when I think about being grounded in my story, that means that I am rooted in the heart of that story. I am committed to building this world. I am developing these characters in a way that makes sense, right? That makes them real. Being grounded in the story is that I'm not getting in my way. I'm not getting in my way. I'm not forcing the story. I'm allowing for the story to unfold. I'm trusting the voice of the characters, the intention of the story. I'm not force feeding any of my own beliefs. Being grounded means that I'm surrendering. I'm surrendering to the process. I would love to hear from some folks. Someone share what grounding means to you and being grounded in the story. Anyone? Go ahead and unmute. And y'all can share in the IG chat, please.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Grounding to me means that I am rooted so deep I could go anywhere and still be connected to the source of me. It means that my breath is always a whisper from God to rest, to recharge, and to reset.
Rooted and connected to the source of me. Thank you. I love that. Someone else?
Hi, I'm Indira. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Leslie.
It's not really Leslie, it's Indira.
Hi, Indira.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep signing with my knees. So I took it more like a personal grounding more than to the story itself. But grounding to me means that I am connected with my surrounding. Grounding to me means that I am grateful with what the universe is offering to me at this moment, not in the past, not in the future. Grounding to me means not to be indifferent to others' pain and challenges. Grounding to me means to be compassionate and forgiving to others and myself. it is finding that imperfect place in which mistakes turn into lessons that makes me a better person and able to find my place as a writer.
Mistakes turning into lessons. Yes. Someone else. Being grounded in the story. Can I hear that? Grounded in the story.
I'll share. Grounding to me means that I am connecting my mind, body, and soul to the moment at hand, being present in the metaphysical space that is Earth, allowing my soul and shadow to come to an agreement and truth that will bring forth the most of the experience that I am about to have. Being grounded in the story means that my characters have a clear path in which to experience the story. They develop into full humans with character flaws that the reader can see themselves in.
Full humans. Yes, that's important. Thank you. Lisa, were you going to share?
Hi, everyone. Being grounded in the story means that I can write my story from a detached lens, that I can write my story and be confident in the fact that those people, places, and things were exactly what I needed at that time to be who I am now. Being grounded in my story means that there's no need to judge myself for the decisions I made then.
Yes, thank you. Someone else?
I want to share. So I wrote that being grounded, writing what you need without censoring yourself and being brave and honest with yourself enough to not censor yourself.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to read a couple from the IG. Being grounded in, this is from Wise Savvy. Being grounded in the story means to be in thought, moving on the words of thought from mind to pen and paper, to write with the emotion and intent to tell my truth. I love that. This is Crystal Bliss. Grounding to me means that I hold space for myself. It means that I am present. I'm not worried about others. I'm ready for what is. Being grounded in the story means to fully be immersed in the story. Yes. So thank you. Is there anyone else that wanted to share before I move?
Sure.
Oh, go ahead, Andrea.
Both of you can share. Whoever.
Okay.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Thank you. I'm not sure who said it, but thank you so much. I think it was Belle.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Grounding to me means that I have not let the stars yet. I have not left the stars yet. The ground is too unstable for me to stand on, and I forget my muscles bring me stability. Yeah, I don't want to be strong any longer. My space needs to be clean, yet I'm the one that torments it. Grounding to me, and I need my space and realize that I need to stay in one place.
Oh, I felt that. Stay in one place. In one place. Belle?
Hi. So what grounding to me means I am nervous-free, anxious-free, free to wander, to create, to photograph, to laugh as loud as I can, allowing nature to echo back winds of love, allowing nature to echo back words of love, the tree branches to embrace me in hugs, the wind to elevate me to my highest potential.
Thank you. I felt that, right? Free of anxiety, free of imposter syndrome, free of all of these things that are crippling, right? That don't allow us to honor what we're here to do, to believe that we're writers, like just starting from that place, like to say someone actually, when I read the review and the feedback, someone said, I could say I am a writer. I felt that everywhere in my body. This writer, I felt that writer believing it in that moment. I am a writer. I leave this workshop knowing that I am a writer. That is huge. And so welcome. That's how we usually enter our workshop. We open up, we clear the space for the writing to happen, for the creativity to happen, because sometimes it's hard to just dive in, let's just jump into what we've been working on. We have to honor the page. I like to think we don't have to. I believe that, you know, when I sit down to write, it's the rituals are simple. You know, I light a candle, I have my tea, and I welcome with a lot of love the story that wants to be written, even when it's painful, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts, even when it fills me with shame, even when I feel like I'm not the one qualified to tell the story, even when I believe that I'm not worthy, because you're not alone. I'm a writer too, right? I'm the writing midwife, but I'm a writer also. So what you feel, I feel on very deep levels, you know, and so I know how to hold you, because I have had to learn to hold myself and say, you know what, Alicia, you can do this shit. You can write this fucking story. Don't believe the shit that white people would have you think about yourself, you know? And so we're always dismantling. When I pick up the pen, it's Junot Diaz that said, writing is a revolutionary act, right? It's my form of resistance. I'm taking back all of the power with my pen. I'm taking back all of the power that has been taken from me throughout my entire life. And so welcome. All right, so I'm going to get into what you can be looking forward to in the 9 weeks. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty of what's happening over the next 9 weeks, because I know Angie's like, let's get into the administrative. Let's go. So folks know what they're getting into and what's expected. So Writing from the Womb is for beginner, intermediate, and advanced writers. It is a 9-week workshop that starts October 4th and ends December 27th. We meet on October 4th, October 11th, October 18th, November 8th, November 15th, November 22nd, December 6th, December 20th, December 27th, from 1 to 5 p.m. That is all on the DominicanWriters.com. The schedule, those of you who are registered will receive a syllabus, and you will receive your link to wet ink, to our online portal, our online class, and that's our own little universe. Shout out to wet ink. We love you. And so we meet for 9 weeks from 1 to 5. Week 1 is titled The Essay. Week 2, the memoir. Week 3, the poem. Week 4, workshop 1. So I'm just going to get through all the weeks. Week 5, story structure. Week 6, point of view. Week 7, writing fiction. Week 8, workshop 2. Week 9, workshop 3. And it's for our reading and our celebration. So each week is designed to, I'm paying attention to what the feedback from the last Writing from the Womb, the 9-week workshop, what people asked. And what they asked for was less readings, more writing, more sharing. Because we were doing a lot. I was pushing them a lot. And so we are only going to have, I know, Priscilla, your face. Stop with the side eye. There are going to be readings, but they are optional. If you can read everything, I'm not going to not assign readings, but they will be optional. Okay. There is one book titled The Optional Required Books are this year you will write this year you write your novel. Forgive me because I'm navigating a lot of spaces. By Walter Mosley. This year you write your novel. And I actually have an electronic version that I can share with the class. So for those of you who want to purchase it and those who are okay reading the electronic version that I have, I will share that. But also the book is only like $12 if I'm being honest. And then the other book is, where is it? The Courage to Create by Rollo May. The Courage to Create. But I will be assigning a lot of PDFs, a lot of articles, a lot of essays, a lot of things, right? And so during the days that we have like a specific genre, like essay or fiction, I will be spending time talking about the craft of writing that genre, like things that you need to know about writing that genre. We will be playing with form. This is pretty much like a hybrid genre writing workshop. All genres are included. There's not one specific thing, right? For me, as the writing midwife, there's about time. I'm not even gonna look at the comments because I know Priscilla's probably throwing mad shade in there.
Actually, I was not. Thank you. Now that the YouTube community, the IG community, and the Zoom community got to know my name, I'm Dr. Priscilla Pender, la gran doctora. And what I was trying to provide for everybody was the ability to download the book for free, because I have a site that allows you to do that. And I don't know about you, but I love free. Free is for me. So it was not shade, boo. It was to help you, maestra.
Thank you. Retiro lo dicho. I take it all back. You're not shady. You're not shady at all.
Oh, no, I'm shady. Oh, but I'll be shady to your face. So it's a light shade.
So back to, where is it? So back to each week. So there'll be a genre. We will write in that genre. We will share in that genre. But I think the most important thing that I would like you to take away from this intro is that one of the questions we always get is, do I have to attend every class? And I understand that we are living in a pandemic. So 9 weeks might be a lot, and you all have other things and family obligations. The only sessions that for me are required are the workshops, week 4, week 8, and week 9. Like if you have a family emergency, like that we can't control. But week 4, week 8, and week 9, those workshops are absolutely required. And you are expected to attend, and you are expected to come ready for workshop. What is workshop? That is when you are reading your cohort's work, you are reading your peers' work, and you are providing them with feedback to help them to strengthen a piece, to move toward completion of a piece. And so those are mandatory dates. So right from jump, if you cannot commit to at least those dates, then this workshop may not be for you, because the truth is that people are really present in the workshop. They really are. They're super generous. This is a community, and they still have a WhatsApp group where they support one another, share resources. They speak on a daily basis. And so consider this a community that you are going to have that you might not have had without the workshop. What am I missing, Angie?
I think you got it. Expectations, commitment, right? You went over that.
What to expect, what I expect: read all assigned readings, take detailed notes, provide written feedback of cohort's work, participate in discussion, line, write your ass off. You're expected to write, to create, to build, right? To meet your writing goals. We're going to be establishing that week 1, what our writing goals are. You know, some of you are ready to publish. Some of you are getting ready to self-publish. Some of you have like your books ready to go. So you just want this community to sort of bless you on that journey. So come bring it.
Also, do they need to have a body of work?
There's not a request. Like for the master's class, I was very strict about you had to have at least 20 pages of writing. For this workshop, you don't have to have this body of work. This is open to people who are brand new, emerging, advanced. So we're going to get a combination of writers, those who have like a draft of something, someone who have goals they want to publish. So they want to write essay, they want to write fiction, they want to write poems. And then we have people who have a collection. You know, we have people who have their chapbook ready. And so what they want people to do is look at what they have and kind of ask the hard questions. So that's what's going to be happening during workshops. I'm open for questions.
Will they be able to catch up on the work if they miss a class?
All of the classes are recorded. You can play it back at your leisure and catch up for sure. Yep, all of them are recorded. and they'll be in our online class on wedding.
Alicia, should we set aside a certain amount of hours a day or a week that we know we should dedicate to writing? Are we expected to write a certain amount of pages a day or a week?
Everyone is expected to write every day. Absolutely, because writers write every day. If you're serious about this, you are setting the time to do that. I offer in the morning, write the fucking story. A group of us who wake up at 6 a.m. from 6 to 9. Some only stay on for an hour. Some only stay on for 25 minutes. People work. Lisa joins for a period of time. Like there are a lot of people. Priscila's on daily. Like there are a lot of folks who come on, and you are writing. It's at your own pace, writing your own thing. It's self-guided, but it's about meeting your goal, your daily goal of showing up for yourself. And so my answer to that is yes, you should be writing every day. Are you going to be scrutinized for it? Should you be beating yourself up when you don't do it? No, because that's not what we're doing. We're being very loving. But if you are serious and you have a goal, then yes, you are writing every day because you know that that's what it takes.
And is that morning group open to those that are taking the class? Is that something like this where you zoom in and you see everybody writing at their own desk?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's open to not just the class, it's open to everyone. It's public. It's on the Dominican Islands. It's open to anyone who wants a community where they can just write and be in a space. So it's open to everyone for free.
Yaslene, no te asuste. I see your face.
I know.
I'm scared.
Jaslene's face is like, what am I getting into?
I'm sweating right now.
Yeah, so that we used to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you changed the time.
Yeah, we got tired. We old, yo. We didn't sleep.
Bitch needs to sleep, yo. I was killing myself, waking up at 5. Any other questions?
I have a question, Alicia. It's Elaine.
Yes, my 5 a.m. family. Elaine's part of the 5 a.m. tribe.
Yes. Oh my God, y'all. It was like 3 months straight a las 5 de la mañana, despierta. Yep. Look at Priscilla. So my question is, so let's say you don't have like a project or like a something, right? Are the classes or the workshops designed to kind of allow you to create something when you're a beginner? Does that make sense?
So each class, I'm always bringing a theme. It's always a subject, right? That for discussion, and we're always generating new writing. So in addition to working on what we're working on, we're generating new work. So it's absolutely generative, absolutely generative.
Awesome.
Hi, Alicia. It's Paola. I have a quick question. I know everyone is going at their own pace and like everyone's establishing their own goals, but is there like a minimum amount of pages we're expected to write either weekly or at the end, or like, are there like, just like certain things that we must check off other than the reading?
Would any of my students like to answer? Priscila?
Yeah, what was the question? I was answering Jasleni. What happened?
The question was, is there a word count?
Okay, so let me give you the skinny on the word count. If we collectively do what we gotta do on Sundays, on that Monday, I'm write the fucking story. Word counts on that day will be like a minimum of 5,000. If Alicia is upset, it's 50 G's. I'm letting you know.
She's lying.
Apriétate los panty porque por aquí no vamos.
She's lying.
No, the word count. Okay. No, we did it for the master.
Is that the shade you were talking about?
That's the shade.
That's the shade. That's shady. No,
we
we did do word count. What I loved about wedding was that it did the word count for us. Yeah. I mean, but if you're like typing a word or whatever, I found myself, oh my God, I think I wrote the first time like maybe 50,000 words the entire time. But I was also taking advantage of writing at 5 o'clock in the morning.
You're scaring them.
No,
Yes.
I'm telling them, no, let's be clear, because we talked about the level of commitment, right? And so that was my level of commitment. And there were people from earlier part of the year writing from the womb class that joined in, and they said, you know what, responsibly, I cannot do it. And that's great. And you do it whenever you want. What worked for me was the 5 o'clock in the morning, right before work. I let it out, and I found that my writing improved at work. My writing improved outside. And by the time that I go to the master's class, I got 80,000 words. So, you know, I mean, that was my level of commitment. When you type and you're going through your story, when you throw it on wedding tells you you've gone over, and then you start sweating. And that's when you realize like how much you're actually like doing.
So Paola,
So don't piss on-
let me translate that, because she threw a lot of
Thank you.
numbers. She threw a lot
sure
of
did.
numbers.
I
She threw
sure
a lot
did.
of numbers
I
out there.
I want, no, I wanted to give a perspective of someone who was like,
Yes, Andrea.
still like really beginner. And Priscilla, I'm so glad that I'm like listening to what your routine was, because I
Well,
didn't
I
know
am a
how you
beginner.
did it. I didn't know
As a
how you were
beginner,
able to do it, and now I got your
That-
secret now. Ahora me voy a levantar a las 3 de la mañana. I woke up at 3 a.m. anyway.
No exagere. Está tranquila. That's IG moments.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm saying because I'm in California. That's why.
Yes.
So I'm gonna wake
yes.
up with y'all.
No.
Yeah.
I found that if I had to create the time, but then COVID happened, and I had all this time, but I still stuck with the 5 o'clock until it stopped being 5 o'clock and it shifted to a different time. And it was we write all week long. That was just my level. I know where I want to go. I know the direction that I started in and where I want to go now. And now the writing is different. Now the writing fits into my life whenever I have free time, because I have a goal to meet. If you have a goal, work for it, because the writing isn't going to do itself.
What were you going to say, Andrea? What was your perspective?
No, I was gonna say that that, you know, every week we had 10 pages. That was the goal, to do 10 pages. But there was people that were doing the master class. That's what I just did. But you also gave the flexibility. If you're writing poems, it's not going to be 10,000 words. And if it's amount of effort and quality that you're providing that week. And I was shitting bricks because I thought that I was like not going to meet the goal. And by the time that we like finished, and she's like, you met your goal. And I was like, pero como? How did I meet my goal? And so it was just really fits to what you were able to do. Entonces, if you have something that you like, even a sentence, then you'll be able to work on this and really develop yourself. And I just wanted to give that perspective of someone que estaba brand new to this.
I think that the word count is for those of us who like a little bit of competition, for those of us who really thrive on having a fire in our ass and having like those goals to push ourselves a little bit harder. Yes, there will be a word count goal because I believe in establishing that. And so I think that I started at like 2,000 words, I want to say. Is that right, Lisa? It was like 2,000 words. And if you think about it, 2,000 words, it ain't nothing. Imagine writing 250 words a day. 250 words is a paragraph. 250 words is like a poem, a stanza. You know, it's not unrealistic to meet, right? And then we build up, because at the end of it, I'm so proud of the writers from the first. I don't want to confuse what Priscilla was talking about. The Writing from the Womb Masterclass was a whole different animal, a different beast. And it was like 10, everyone was required to have 10 new pages weekly, because the goal was we needed to have 60 pages. For this Writing from the Womb, we slow it down. This Writing from the Womb is my signature workshop. It's a little bit slower, it's gentler. I'm always gentle, but it's a little, I'm softer here because I'm trying to get you to create, to write, to complete, to love it. The masterclass is I'm completing this shit. I'm ready to give birth. This one is I'm moving toward it. I'm nurturing myself. I'm breathing through the process. I'm showing up for myself. I'm establishing a discipline, a ritual, a practice. That's what this 9 week does. You know, it sets you up. you know, to achieve the goal. And so you're going to have, we have our class goal, and then we have our individual, what we want to have done. And everyone, I promise you, you will have, for those of you who are starting new, you will have at least 20 new pages written. Never mind what you'll be editing, sharing, revising, working on. You'll be building on. And for you, Jocelyn, I know that you have a project that's close to done. You know, you're probably going to have 10 brand new pieces from this workshop also, in addition to what you're building on and sharing and growing with the group.
So Alicia, for those of us that do already have a project in mind, a goal in mind, are you thinking we should tackle that? Plus, you mentioned an essay, a memoir, a poem. So there's going to be other writings that we're doing for the workshop in addition to our personal projects that we're pursuing, right?
Yep. Yep. Well, we'll be talking about it. So you won't necessarily be writing in that genre if it's not the genre you want to write in, right? So if it be an activity that's a fiction activity in class, we'll be writing within that genre. Like whether or not you choose to use it, publish it, write it, flush it out even further, that's on you. You know?
But it's okay to expose us to different types of work and to get us out of our comfort zone, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
what it is.
Hi, this is Jocelyn. I just want to say that, you know, regardless of the word count and stuff like that, it's really just pushing you. Because you know, it depends what you need. Like for me personally, I needed to be pushed to get into writing. I needed somebody to tell me, you need to write this many words, these many pages in order to get my book where I wanted it. So it all depends on your goals. So don't be afraid of the word count, because I was at the beginning and I was like, I will never write that. And I was new to this, totally new. And just having the word count really was a savior. Doing the master class made me write my book. And I'm hoping that, you know, with this one, I could finish it. And even though my goal was to finish it in the master class, I didn't, but I did write a lot and I'm almost there. So I just wanted to say, don't be afraid of it. Even though at the beginning it'll be okay.
I have some questions on the IG. How about for those of us seeking clarity on what to write about, do you recommend? Yes, in the class, you're going to be inspired. You're going to be inspired by the writers in the class, by the stories that they're writing. Like I remember when I first met you, Jocelyn, that when you took the free intro class, you know, it was at the beginning of the year, you left that session saying, now I know what I want to write about. So that was pretty fucking amazing. The time zone is Eastern Standard Time. Tawana wrote in here 20,000 words a week. I can't stand you. I eventually want to write a book. Come write it. T shares that she wrote so much in writing from the womb. I'm really excited, especially as a woman from Dominican family who used to love to write as a teenager, to find this. I'm so blessed and grateful to have found this live. I want to do this. Ache, welcome. I have a goal. I've had this vision from a child. I just didn't know how to start. Thank you. I'm in tears. I'm hugging you. Oh. You want to write? You ready? I have a book that I love. It's called it's not required reading, okay? Everyone let it go. But it's a book I love. It's titled One Continuous Mistake, 4 Noble Truths for Writers by Gail Scher. Gail Scher is a poet. Now, this is how this book is. That's how much I love it. Let me be gentle. This is an archive. When I'm a famous writer one day and my work is, I hope that, Angie, make sure that this is put in a crystal box, this book. Like this was one of her prized possessions. A writing habit. Hace calor, estoy sudando. Part 1, a writing habit. Facing fear, developing a one-pointed mind, nursing a writing habit, cultivating daily writing periods, finding the middle way, and burning yourself completely all belong to how of regularity to making a practice. What is your practice, your writing practice? My writing practice looks like what? Take a moment, write that down. My writing practice looks like what? My writing practice looks like and then move into what I would like my writing practice to look like. What my ideal writing practice looks like. We're not beating ourselves up, right? So if our writing practice looks like we come to the page and we sit there and sometimes our minds are blank, we're not open to inspiration. We're not beating ourselves up saying we feel defeated and we feel worthless. That's not what we're doing by analyzing what our practice looks like. Because what we are trying to figure out is what is our writing style? What works for us? Is coming to a writing community like this what works for us? Because for some of us, this is what helps us to hold ourselves accountable. And then there's some of us who wake up at 5 a.m. and say, fuck that. I wake up at 5 a.m. When I was doing that from 5 to 8 a.m., it's because everyone was asleep. My partner was asleep. The baby was asleep. New York City was quiet. That was when I could honor myself. So when I started my day in that way, I felt like I felt amazing. I felt like I conquered the world already. At 8 a.m. already had a full day. I had written scenes for a chapter. I had read, and you know what I'm saying? And so what we are looking for is what works for us. Because that's when we know we can do this and we're going to do this and we're committed to doing it. The other thing too is when we're paying for a class like this, we are also doing it. Because we're like, oh no, this is my investment. I'm investing in myself, right? There's a difference between taking a free workshop and it's a wonderful poetry workshop, and then you do nothing with that poem, and then coming to writing from the womb knowing, oh no, but I'm gonna have 20 fucking pages at the end of this, or 40, or 60, or 100. Because I have like one of my, Cindy Bautista Tomas, you'll see her all over like my website and reviews. She was in the first class, the first writing from the womb in 2013. And she has over 200 pages of work from working with me for her YA. Like she's so close. She's so close to having her YA done. Four noble truths for writers. It is not the food in front of us, but our readiness to receive, to be blessed with food that allows food to do its feeding. Ed Brown, Zen priest and master chef, astutely observes. Just so, our readiness to receive and to be blessed by our writing allows it to nourish us. If you are a writer, you have probably noticed that when you are writing, it feels correct. And then when you are not writing, when there is no room for writing in your life, it feels incorrect. When you write, you sit down with the intention to be. If you are a writer, writing and being are the same. Of course, we bring each according to our temperament more to it. Though each of our mores has a different flavor, all are somewhat extraneous to the practice aspect of writing. Only intention is essential. When Ed Brown says our readiness to receive, he's talking about intention. The value of a vow. A practice is a vow. I vow to have a writing period every day is in perfecting its methodology. Isan Dorsey, a Zen priest at San Francisco Zen Center, used to say, you don't clean to make things clean so much. You clean even if it's not a mess. You just go around and make things look like somebody paid attention to them. Isan's advice is equally applicable to writing. Cleaning is not about achieving some once and for all pristine state of immaculateness. Human beings clean, writers write. Hang on one second. I'm going to share this without a title. I cut off. If I go live, will it save the other one? Give me 1 second. I'm going to read that one more time. I just want to make sure that this saves for the people on the wall.
You have to, if you end the Instagram live, you have to click save and it saves it on your Instagram. Are you asking about just Instagram or?
No, I know it's still going on in YouTube. We're back. Okay. Isan's advice is equally applicable to writing. Cleaning is not about achieving some once and for all pristine state of immaculateness. Human beings clean, writers write. It is the most fundamental of the four noble truths for writers. 1, writers write. 2, writing is a process. 3, you don't know what your writing will be until the end of the process. 4, if writing is your practice, the only way to fail is to not write. Ready to write? The story I was born to tell is, the story I was born to tell, chosen to tell, I am inspired to tell is, please write that down in the comments. The story I was born to tell is, really think about it. Be really honest. The story I was born to tell. I came here to tell. I lived this experience to tell. I can no longer hide this secret. The truth. The truth. What is the story? Where does it take place? Where is it set? Who are the characters? What are the themes? I'm giving you a lot, but you're going to spend some time with this. The story I was born to tell. Where does it take place? Where is it set? What is it about? What are the major questions? If you're writing, if you have a poetry collection, then you absolutely know what the theme is. If I were to write a poetry collection right now, today, September 27th, 2020, it would be about grief, it would be about rage, it would be about love. Those would be the three. I would write the chapbook in those 3 sections. And within those 3 sections, I know that every piece I'd be writing about grief, about rage, about love would fall into those, right? I'm very clear when I'm working on a project, how I want to tackle it. What is the story? What's the story you were born to tell? Like, really own it. Like, if there were you don't need an MFA, you don't need a writing class. The story lives in your body. You are a vessel, and your only job is to sit the fuck down and write this story. Just write the fucking story and trust that you have everything you need to tell this story. You do not have to be an expert on fucking technology, how to build a car because you have a fucking car in a scene. You don't have to know what kind of fucking motor a Ford 1942 has to tell that story. You know what I'm saying, Lemni? We do that to ourselves. We have to know like when I'm writing a story, I'm like, oh my God, I need to know how the women dress. So what color were the skirts? Bitch, write story. The story I was born to tell, it takes place, like really feel it, where it's set. The characters are this, the themes are love, rate, really list them. You don't have to write it. Like we list all the themes that you're covering. Is it power? Is it sexism? Is it joy? Is it sex? Whatever. All of the themes, is it friendship? Is it family? Is it trauma? Is it abuse? Whatever. All the themes. Is it spirituality? Because this is going to help me understand who you are. If I know what you care about, then I know who you are. Truly, as your writing midwife, that gives me insight into how I can serve you. Because then I can pull from my experiences and really support you from an honest place, not on some bullshit. Because I know some things about a lot of things, even if I don't have a PhD. I got a PhD from life, yo. Like really look at the journey, like not really thinking about the reader, but truly, what is it that you want to make? What do you want to make me feel? Right? What do you want to make me feel? I know that when you read my memoir, where I'm talking about 100 years of rage, I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the anger, the joy. I want you to feel the victory. I want you to feel the loss. I want you to feel the pain exactly as I fucking felt it. Because that's an honest writer. I'm gonna leave you with that for like 6 more minutes. Then we'll take a break. Then we'll share. 4 more minutes. As you wrap this up, I want to hear the story you were born to tell and then the themes. I'd like to hear that so I can get a feel for what's in the space. That goes for all of you, right? IG, YouTube. You can type in the comments the story I was born to tell, and you can paraphrase, you can make it short, you know. You don't have to write an essay on the IG. And then the themes. Who would like to share?
I'll go.
Please.
My name's Yama. Hi, everybody. The story I was born to tell is truth and transformation, of self-discovery and balance and acceptance. A story of the omnipresent and true story of believing in the dark. I'm the main character. The themes are transformation, connection and disconnection, balance of worlds, sleep, hope, not knowing the answer, abandonment, spoken word, being alone and lonely, and breath. It takes place with a feeling, not a location. And after the feeling, it goes from Maryland to Miami.
Beautiful. Thank you, Yama.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Just Lenny, did you want to share?
Sure. So the story that I feel I was born to tell is not actually entirely my story. It's my parents' story. My parents, kind of like what you see in the movies when you watch an immigration movie and all the crazy adventures, dangerous things that people go through to come to the States and live out their American dream. And I feel that they are the epitome of the American dream. I feel like they have really done everything that they set out to do. And I think the story is beautiful and dangerous and scary. And they've sacrificed so much for me and my siblings, and I really want to honor that by telling their story.
Thank you.
Which is funny because that's completely not what I thought I would be working on in this class. I'm already like shifting gears without even starting.
That's what happens because the spirit knows. The spirit knows, the muse is like, but this is the story that I need you to tell right now. Thank you. Someone else.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The story that I think I was born to tell is about the dichotomy of growing up in the DR in a very rural place and then coming of age in the Bronx and what that means personally, emotionally, but also like for my, it's kind of the story of my family. So it's about love, it's about struggle, it's about perseverance. But it's also something that I'm interested in an academic perspective, like the idea of Generation 1.5 and how our sort of experience being born in the DR translates to being an adult in the US. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
This is Lemony. I'll read.
Good, love. How are you?
Bien, y tú? The story I came to tell is a novel called Honey, a sci-fi fantasy detailing themes of karma, parenting, loss, adventure, mystery, finding love for self, independence, feminism, joy, sex, trauma, abuse, alien babies, murder, wrath, hedonism, power, anger, spirituality, Tainos, priestesses, conucos y bohíos. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Dope. On IG, someone wrote, the story I was born to tell ate me up inside for 4 years, tore me down before the relationship ended. Themes of betrayal, devastation, healing. Ache. The story I was born to tell is the one of breaking generational curses, dealing with abandonment, and learning forgiveness. I was born to tell the story of the women in my family, how we migrate, give birth, suffer, survive, and continue loving. It's also the story of my own migration to the US. My themes are love, religion, themes of betrayal, spirituality, abandonment. Someone please continue.
I can share. My story is one that isn't pleasant to tell, but necessary to hear. I want to bring you down a path to understand me, and through that journey, possibly understand yourself. I want you to see what I've seen and feel what I've felt. I want to ask questions and answers, and I want to ask questions and find answers together. The story I want to tell is only one that I can write, of just also from the perspective of just one woman and what she's capable to live through. Some themes, I'm also exploring a chapbook, and the themes that I wrote a bunch of themes down: love, abuse, existence, identity, internal struggle, legacy, returning. Yeah. And then I am the main character.
I'm stuck on these stories that are not pleasant, right? I'm stuck on that. Stories that are not pleasant, because, you know, often people think that, you know, it's the happily ever after scenario that's going to garner the success. But the truth is that our experiences, people as people of color, have not been pleasant. Our history has not been pleasant. And so I don't believe in those pleasantries. For me, this idea of asking questions is really rooted in really dissecting a lot of those themes that we care about. Like even those of us who believe in the American dream, and our parents came here and they gave us everything. Like my parents owned homes. That did not come without some very unpleasant experiences, with them not speaking the language, with racism, with having in many ways for me, this country destroyed their spirit a little bit, you know. But that's my experience, like watching my parents age right now, is that, yeah, they have a house and they've done well. And my father has an amazing like car that he paid for cash because of his sudor. He paid for it cash. But also I see what it's done to his health and his body. And so at what cost, right? And so I think as we explore our themes, our individual stories, it really is, when we think about our characters, whether it's first person, it's ourself, right? And then characters, it really is, what is their journey? What is the character's journey? How are they failing? How are we rooting for them? Where are you taking us at the end? What happens to these people at the end? Who do they become at the end? You know, I'm always thinking about what's my takeaway at the end. And sometimes it's not pretty. And sometimes it's loose ends. Like it's not everything. And we came out of this roses. And sometimes we're still in the fucking abyss. En el hoyo profundo. Still trying to claw our way out. Book 2. Next book. You know, someone else. The story you were born to tell.
I'd like to share.
Please.
So the story I want to tell starts with me and my noticings and all of my curiosities. It's the story of the women before me and among us. It's the truths and the BS I've witnessed, the joys and the humors of everyday life. I want to tell the story of being on the sidelines, of being on the outside, of always observing, of knowing more and knowing less than I think I do. I know it's a story of self-discovery and falling in love with myself. And then the themes I want to explore are love, sexism, solitude, girlhood, immigrant journeys, and fears.
Beautiful, thank you. Tiffany, did you want to share?
Yeah, I'll go. So the story I was born to tell is the story of those who feel like they have silenced themselves for the comfort of others, committed to being that vessel to share those stories, to make them feel seen. And the story I will intend to write is that of my grandmothers, exploring themes of what does it take to create a matriarchy, having a matriarchal lineage, and everything that has occurred in this one woman's life from beginning to where she is presently, almost a whole 95 years old, and everything that's happened in her life, and just to document it, as I've been the only one to hear that profound story. I just feel like I have to share it.
Listen, I just got chilled. My funegun.
It's really titled Monet after her own mother.
What it takes, say it again to me, what it takes to create a matriarchal society?
What it takes to create a matriarch, and then moving forward, a matriarchal society, and how that has a ripple effect.
Listen, live inside that. Live inside that. That right there. This is what writing from the womb does, family. Like, we come in and we write from a space and we share, and it's a sacred space. Like, one of the things that I want you to release and surrender is, if I share my ideas, if I share my themes, if I share my stories, someone will steal it. No one's gonna fucking steal it, because it's already been written. The themes that we are writing about have already been written. The thing is that no one is going to write it the way you write it. So don't worry. You know, I'm hearing what Tiffany says, writing about matriarchs, and I'm thinking, wow, that would make for an excellent essay about my African religion and how that religion was based on matriarchal societies, very different from what she's writing. And Lord knows I'm not going to write that essay this year, Tiffany, so do you, boo. Mine's going to come out at some point in the next 10 years, because I got a million ideas that flow in and out of me. You know, so surrender that, right? If I share it, someone will take it and they will get there first. That's connected to something else, to poverty, to lack, to worthlessness, right? To those ideas that we are not enough and that there is not enough. There is enough, because the universe is kind and we are surrounded by abundance all the time. Like, I'm writing down stuff in my journals that one day I hope to just have like hundreds of books published. You know, I just hope for the time to tackle those ideas. I'm going to read you a book that is not required reading, but a book that I love, not required, called Bird by Bird by Lamott. She is one of my favorite writers. If you own the book, it's page 110, and the section is called Broccoli. There's an old Mel Brooks routine on the flip side of the 2,000-year-old man, where the psychiatrist tells his patient, listen to your broccoli, and your broccoli will tell you how to eat it. And when I first tell my students this, they look at me as if things have clearly begun to deteriorate. But it is as important a concept in writing as it is in real life. It means, of course, that when you don't know what to do, when you don't know whether your character would do this or that, you get quiet and try to hear that still small voice inside. It will tell you what to do. The problem is that so many of us lost access to our broccoli when we were children. When we listened to our intuition, when we were small, and then told the grown-ups what we believed to be true, we were often either corrected, ridiculed, or punished. God forbid you should have your own opinions or perceptions. Better to have head lice. If you ask innocently, why is mom in the bathroom crying? You might be told, mom isn't crying, mom has allergies. Or if you said, why didn't dad come home last night? You might be told brightly, dad did come home last night, but then he left again very early. And you nodded, even though you knew that these were lies, because it was important to stay on the adult's good side. There was no one else to take care of you, and if you questioned them too adamantly, you'd probably get sent to your room without dinner. Or they'd drive a stake through your ankles and leave you on the hillside above the mobile station. So you may have gotten into the habit of doubting the voice that was telling you quite clearly what was really going on. It is essential that you get it back. You need your broccoli in order to write well. Otherwise, you're going to sit down in the morning and have only your rational mind to guide you. Then, if you're having a bad day, you're going to crash and burn within a half hour. You'll give up and maybe even get up, which is worse, because a lot of us know that if we just sit there long enough, in whatever shape, we may end up being surprised. Let's say it's only 9:15 now. If you were to stick it out, the image or situation might come to you that would wedge the door open for a character, after which you would only have to get out of the way, because then the character could come forward and speak and might say something important. It might even be the thing that is most important to him or her, and your plot might suddenly fall into place. You might see how to take that person from good to bad and then back or whatever, but instead you quit for the day and you feel defeated and shaken and hopeless, and tomorrow is going to be even harder to face because today you've given up only 15 minutes after you sat down to work. Remember the scene in Cat Balu where a very drunk Lee Marvin goes from unconscious to ranting to triumphant, roaring to weeping defeat, and then finally passes out? One of the men watching him says, with real awe, I never seen a man get through a day so fast. Don't let this be you. You get your confidence and intuition back by trusting yourself, by being militantly on your own side. You need to trust yourself, especially on a first draft, where amid the anxiety and self-doubt, there should be a real sense of your imagination and your memories, walking and wool gathering, tramping the hills, romping all over the place. Trust them. Don't look at your feet to see if you are doing it right. Just dance. You get your intuition back when you make space for it, when you stop the chattering of the rational mind. The rational mind doesn't nourish you. You assume that it gives you the truth, but the rational mind is the golden calf that this culture worships. But this is not true. Rationality squeezes out much that is rich and juicy and fascinating. Let's breathe. And I want you to get really quiet. And I want you to write down the first thing that comes to mind when I ask the scene that wants to be written or the piece that wants to be written is. If you were to begin writing the story right now, where would you begin? Write that. Oh. Where would you start? What's the place? What's the scene? You're not censoring yourself. You're just sitting with this story, with this idea, with this project, and you are just the beginning it. For those of you who need a prompt, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember the time, I remember when they said, I remember what they wore, I remember that day, I remember when they arrived, I remember when they left, I remember the smell of, the color of the sky, like use anything to enter, to allow yourself to explore this thing that you're working on, this thing that you're writing. Look at your list of themes. You wrote them down. I remember when I first felt abandoned. I remember when I first tasted loss. I remember when I came out. Pick a theme and attach I remember to it. And then Trust. Trust. You're listening. You're listening to what your intuition wants to tell you. Two more minutes. That's a good prompt. The truth is. Use that prompt too. The truth is. Prompts are also the questions that you have for your stories, right? Good prompts are like when you're trying to dissect these themes and you're trying to enter, you're asking questions. So like if you're writing about your parents or you're writing about these relationships, what is it that you are exploring? What is it that you want them to tell you? One more minute. Let's go. Let's hear. Let's hear what we came up with. Please share. Those of you can type it in the chat. Let's share in real time what came up when we trusted our intuition just now. Let's hear it. Where'd you start? Where'd you go? Who showed up? Who showed up?
I go for.
Let's go.
Okay. A pink dress, an empty room, a sunny day, an innocent smile, and hand reaching out.
Beautiful. Someone else?
Okay.
Someone else?
I'll share. So what I came up with, the scene that wants to be written starts with Chamaca. That's my main character's name. Wearing a crown on her more salt and pepper hair, black shirt with rhinestones designed to spell birthday girl, standing in her younger daughter Magdalena's home surrounded by her family, husband, 2 daughters, 5 granddaughters, 1 great-granddaughter, and 2 son-in-laws. Magdalena lays out the cake on the kitchen table. Okay, before we sing happy birthday to mom, each one of us says one nice thing about mom. Before we sing happy birthday, each one of us says one nice thing about mom. I slightly jumped startled because after the year we had, the fact that she's here is a miracle from God.
When I hear details like the writer that went before you, your name is Indira. Hey, Indira. Indira. The pink dress, that really struck me as important. El vestido rosado was important. And so for both you and Priscilla, when we're sharing details, what I want to see is that fleshed out. Like, why is that important? Why are we putting these things into our stories? There's a reason, right? And so at some point, I'm going to want to see why that is, right? See that fleshed out. Someone else?
I entered with a 19-year-old Puerto Rican woman who is riding the train from Florida to New York, having just gotten off the plane. And so it starts with, the truth is, I never wanted to come here. I was forced to.
Thank you. Someone else?
I wrote, we landed at JFK at 12:30 p.m. on July 21st, 2001. Your fellow came to pick us up in his red sedan. I was surprised at how much he looked like my grandfather, and I realized that even though he visited just as frequently as my parents did, I had never really looked at his face until that day at the airport.
Beautiful. I would want to see what that experience is of landing, the details, the surroundings, the drive, what it felt like, what it smelled like, the differences of coming from an island to this concrete, the fear, all of that, all of that.
I can share. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fuck you. I hate you. I hope you die, or more so, wish you were never born. I know I'm wildin'. I know I should watch what I say because my words for others can be magic spells for me in return. But if I never tell the world how much I hate you, that anger will kill me before any spell. The first step to forgiving is admitting, so this is me doing that. Fuck you, I hate you, I hope you die, or more so, I wish you were never born.
And there is an entrance. You had me at hello. You had me at fuck you. Someone else. Oh, we have some people on the IG. Let me share this. Jackie, send me a request. I'll let you go live so we can hear your voice. Love doesn't leave you traumatized is the quote. Well, guess what? I love and got fucking traumatized. There's power in words. What about screams? I screamed for an hour at the top of my lungs in the toilet. I literally turn the volume down when she reads my words. Oh, she's talking about me. Yo, beautiful, Crystal. Beautiful. The scene that's asking to be written is one where mommy leaves to Nueva York like everybody else had. Mommy left and I was 9 and I didn't understand why she had to leave. We know that story, right? Where the parent has to come here and the kid is left behind and then what's left. Yeah. Let me see, go live with. Someone share while Jackie's joining on the live,
I got one.
please.
I remember the
Hang on one second. Let's have Jackie go. Go ahead, Jackie.
Hi. Thank you so much. I look a little crazy, but the piece that wants to be written is a young girl standing by the Domino's table where there is laughter and drinking. She's standing by her father and they're talking about something. She interjects and is told, "Los muchachos hablan cuando las gallinas mean." That is how we were silenced and told our voices were not welcome. I remembered all the times I would ask questions and people would be annoyed at my inquisitive nature, why I wanted to know so much. I did. I wanted to know everything, so much that I read all the small print I can find everywhere. The truth is, they didn't know how to answer them because they didn't know either. They were lost and confused. And I was, sorry, I don't know what I wrote there, but it said, I looked at them for guidance and truth, not knowing they were lost too. That's all I have.
I looked at them for guidance, not knowing they were lost too. That's an entire piece. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone else?
Are you asking IG Live?
Y'all might come.
Okay. I remember the dark because I grew from it. I remember where your lack of faith and trust in me birthed the built-up potential for me to light up. At the dinner table with French bread and tea, the table covered with newspapers. You told me not to, but I spilled the tea.
Okay. I am ready. I'm ready. I remember your lack of faith. Listen. Someone wrote, do people cry in these workshops? Because I'm tearing up. Yes, we cry in these workshops because we're open and we're vulnerable and we're writing from honest places. And the beautiful thing about this community is that we're not out there in the world where they want to hurt us. We're here to get honest feedback, right? So we're raw with it. We're honest because we want to be better writers. This is about being the best writer we could be and writing quality work. But in this place we can cry and know that we're not weak, that we are lifted, that we are held, because we know what it feels like to be beat up by the world. Jocelyn's like, cry, girl, cry, girl.
I'm cracking up because it's true. Priscilla just put with mocos and everything. I'm like, seriously, I have like my napkins next to me because of my tissues, because I'm always crying, everything. So it's okay to cry.
And that's a wonderful sign, right? It's a wonderful sign that if we're feeling it in that way, our readers will feel it in that way. When we read something that we've written that's like, fuck, that, we know. We know when we've written an excellent line. We might write a lot of shit, but we know when we write that real, that we're like, yeah, this is, we're not skating on the surface and dancing and hiding behind words. We're being really honest about what things really look like. You know, not prettying it up with like $1 million vocabulary, right? And so, yeah. I was born to write the story of how our human race has evolved through the biblical story of gentrification, race mixing, colonization, and its development as displayed through our current culture. Mm-hmm. One more person?
I'll read.
Please.
If anyone else doesn't want to. Okay.
Okay. And then Andrea, whoever wants to read, we'll take 3 people. Everybody share. I want to hear it.
Okay. I remember what he wore when we met. He was wearing the scent of smoke, his skin dark. He was a purple and blue. I remember when I first tasted loss. The baby kept telling me that I was going to kill you, but that was never in my head. I thought we would be together forever, and I loved giving myself to you open, bare all the way. The truth is, I thought I'd be alone for the rest of my life until I met him, and then I killed him. Now to spread his body parts into the 3 times in 10 directions.
I was waiting for more.
Coming.
I was waiting for more. I was like, and then I killed him and.
Right.
Bring it. Bring it. Who was next? We have a bunch of people.
Hi. So I have a poem that goes along with this that I want to amplify to this. So it starts like this. Abuelitas moved to the capital from the countryside. She was 25 years old with a long falda, her cinturón on her waist. And then that's what I got from that.
Okay. We're ready. We're ready. Go there. Andrea,
can you all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
January 21st, 2020. This looks like some contagion shit. I send this to my ex, the one that we've been on and off. He reminds me of my father. He makes me nervous, yet I want him around because I need structure in my life. I started my public health studies in 2015, and in my epidemiology course, we watched Contagion, the one with Kate Winslet and Mark Wahlberg, about this deadly virus that came from a casino in China. I was shook, scared, and didn't want to be around anyone or anything that I came in contact with. I was studying my population. I started my population health certificate because I wanted a master's, but I couldn't do my GRE because I suck at standardized tests. I started my love for studying public health, and little did I know that the same fear that was planted in me in 2015 would manifest in a real life tied with heartbreak, intergenerational trauma, syndemic against Black, Indigenous people of color, a social unrest, and the pressure of a doctoral program.
I think for me, one of the things that I want to live in is all of the destruction. Like I want to see everything broken down in a way that I can feel it, right? Show me, don't tell me. Like I feel that there's going to be a lot of anger rising from these systems that this character is being pointed to dismantle. So let's get to the dismantling. So show me that. But we're going to talk about that more, right? Because we're going to be breaking these concepts down and writing it. If it's fiction, if it's nonfiction, if it's memoir, if it's essay, like we really have to tell this story in a way where we're bringing people into this world so they get it. Beautiful. Nicole, then Mickey.
Hi. As a child, I remember when I first felt abandoned, my heart crushed, bitter cold, like when you chew ice with a cavity tooth. My soul, dark as a night sky, without any stars or a moon. Isolation, an unwelcome invitation to depression, hate, and resentment.
Thank you. Mickey, then Patty.
So this character is reminiscing about a disclosure about sexual abuse. I remember when you beat me for telling you the truth. You asked me if anyone kissed me, and I told you that he did. You asked me to show you how. I put my lips to your lips, and I pushed my tongue into your mouth lovingly. You shoved me, wiped your mouth, and said, "Ew." You spanked me, and I cried.
Thank you. Patty, then Paola.
Hi guys. For me, it starts, siempre ha sido así, mija, Mommy said, standing by the computer, chopping the cilantro, standing by the counter, chopping the cilantro, la cebolla for the sofrito she was preparing. Él nunca va a cambiar, she sighed with onion tears. She hadn't done anything bad. She simply didn't empty el cubo de agua. But it was enough. It was enough to trigger a rant on why everyone in the house was useless and no one knew how to do anything, and why couldn't he have gotten a divorce when he had the chance? It wasn't as if Lola hadn't heard this stuff before. It's just that now at 16, di que una mujer, she was beginning to see what she hadn't before. He was broken.
Thank you.
How did my spirit, these are some questions I asked myself. What is the piece that wants to be written? How did my spirit get lost, and where was it before it got lost? I remember the excitement and warmth that met me each morning. I would wake up, get myself dressed for school. I would show up to the playground excited and eager to see my teacher and friends. I remember the primary colored rug in the middle of the classroom next to the bookshelf. I could pick up any book and read it cover to cover. The truth is, I was meant to be happy. I was meant to be born free. I know so because my mom prayed over her belly each night for 9 months. I was supposed to be protected. And then that's all I got.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. That was wonderful. Just a start. That's what happens when we sit and we listen and we trust and we're committed, right? Committed to our story, committed to what it is that we're here to do, and we set the time aside to do that. We have 8 minutes left. I want to know how you're feeling, how you're doing. For all of you on the live, for those of you here, what's rising for you? How are you feeling? You can ask questions, and I just want to know where your heart is. like what you're taking with you, how you're feeling after this 2 hours of being together.
I feel really good. I just want to thank you all for holding this space and inspiring me to write my story. And for the cries, because I needed it.
Ache, Mia, welcome. Yay.
I just want to say thank you to Alicia, because earlier this year, I was able to like really develop as not just a writer, but really as a Dominicana, right? Because I am half Puerto Rican, half Dominican, and the Dominican side of me was something that I never really got to explore or anything. Not sure exactly why that's a conversation I get to have with my mom, but I was exposed to so many different parts of the culture, and I finally felt like I wasn't alone. Like hearing everybody say the little sayings that I've always heard, I'm like, oh my God, so I am Dominican. I got it. Like, this is awesome. You know, when you discover a part of yourself, you realize that you get to move in two directions. You either get to stay stuck with, oh my God, I could have had this, or you get to say, well, I get to discover this. And that's what writing from the womb did for me. And I, like early this morning, tagged on IG and I said that I didn't start living until I started writing. And I really mean that. And those that were writing from the womb from earlier in the year and in masterclass heard me talk so much about my sister and heard me talk so much about how wonderful of a writer she is and how I would have loved to have shared this space. And I get to share this space with her today. And she's had one fucking hell of a year, you know, and I just wanna, you know, thank you, Alicia, because you and I in private conversations, you always held the open space that she would join, and she's here. And she and my two nieces are really like the inspiration for where I go with my writing, because she really does inspire me. She's an amazing, accomplished writer and Emmy Award winner. I'm just gonna throw it out there because I brag about my sister. Yes, not one, not two, not three, but I think like 6 or 7. I'm not 100% sure. So a little girl, a Dominicana, Puerto Riqueña from Hudson County in Jersey, got them Emmys. Tell me that. Tell me we can't do some shit. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
I love you, Bri. Patty, welcome. Welcome. You were always in the space and in the class with all of the stuff you were going through. You know, your children's book and your accolades and just inspiration for Priscilla, right? Because you are the writer. And she's coming out as the writer now, like in her big sister's footsteps, which is beautiful to watch. And to have you be a part of this round is fucking amazing, because I know that we're gonna build something. It's that fucking dynasty, that empire that we deserve, right? You know, supporting one another, loving on one another. And so thank you. You know, one of the things you said, Bri, I love you, Bri. Bri is has definitely become part of my tribe. So where, as the instructor, sometimes I try really hard not to be vulnerable. So Priscilla, please don't make me cry. But one of the things that we're doing on this journey is that we are finding our voice. And when we are not writing or whatever our creative life is, when we are not honoring what we are here to do, we are dying a little. We're dying these small deaths. You know, when we feel empty and we're lacking something, it's because we are not honoring spirit. And spirit wants us to create, you know, and to be our most authentic and genuine self. You know, and so this writing from the womb is that we're writing from a sacred, not just writing, we're receiving from that sacred space, because that's what it is. We're receiving the words, the stories, these ideas. And so, Ache. Patty, did you want to say something? Patty over there crying.
Yeah, man. This chick got me all emotional and this stuff on YouTube.
Welcome to Writing from the Womb.
Damn.
We laugh, we cry, we curse. Welcome.
I am so excited to be a part of this. I remember there was one Sunday would help with the girls, and Priscilla came over. She had her laptop, and she was just so in the zone and writing. And I would just look over to her and be like, "¿Qué diablo le pasa a esta muchacha?" And I finally, like, I get it, and I'm so excited to do this because I've personally have only ever been around the realm of children's book writers, and I've only ever been the only Latin person within that space, and that's a tough thing to navigate when nobody understands you. So to find a space where everybody just gets it and everybody's doing the same thing you're doing, that is amazing. You hold on to that. That's like real tribe right there, because it is hard out there in them streets. I self-published and it wasn't easy, and just going on this journey towards becoming a traditionally published author is wow, that's work. That's like from deep within. That's a calling. You want to do it, you got to push through it. So thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to hear what everybody comes up with and start buying those books. I'm ready.
Hello, welcome. Anyone else? We're closing out. On the IG, someone said, I feel like I have a clear sense of where I am telling my story and where I need to head. I'm so grateful to you and all that you shared. It's so crazy how things pop up exactly when we need them. And I really feel like the timing was orchestrated by spirit. I signed up, can't wait. In just these 2 hours, I got so much clearer, and I'm so scared, but ready. Thank you. Ache.
I just want to say really quickly, like, one, I really appreciate this space, Alicia and Angie, that you've created. And I want to thank all the writers like that have done this before, and are making space for new people. I just want to acknowledge the fact that I feel really safe right now with so many brown faces, and that is so rare. I'm like a little overwhelmed. I probably am gonna cry right after this because I've been holding it and I'm not a holder. So I appreciate everyone being open to crying here because I'm a crybaby. But yeah, I'm fucking scared. But I do feel more ready because of all of you. So thank you.
Yay. I think that's what makes this experience special, right? That we are people of color. And that's the rarity. Like we're in all of those spaces what Patty was talking about, being traditionally published, and that is a white space where we have not been welcomed. Here we are aligned with the Dominican Writers Association that is creating incredible programming for us, by us, FUBU, for us, by us. That's what we're doing. And look at what we've created and what we're going to create. And so I'm so grateful. Family, it is 3. I'm so grateful for you. I hope to see you all in class next week. Look out for the syllabus, for the love. For those of you who can't make it this time, you are loved and you are held. So you can always still join one of our Write the Fucking Story writing sessions in the morning. Hit us up. We're all over social media. Everyone throw one word in the comments. What are you taking with you today? What are you taking? What are you leaving? What? Say that again?
Acceptance.
No te oí. Commitment, inspiration, motivation, clarity, freedom, energy, community, gratitude, courage, commitment, freedom, acceptance, motherfucking magic, love, vulnerability, la futura, the future, grounding, joy, support, strength, fearlessness, tribe, purpose, clarity, direction, love, courage, support, and more love and truth. I'm taking with me grace. I'm taking with me honor. I'm taking with me a knowing that I'm doing exactly what I'm being called to do, and you all have answered the call. And that is divinely ordered. I love y'all. See you next week. Rest up. We got shit to write. Bye, fam. Be well, everyone.
Gracias, Alicia.
My pleasure. I love y'all. My pleasure.
Gracias, Alicia.
Thank you so much.
Eso gracias.
Yes.